over the last couple of days, I've been watching a lot and looking at a lot of roster bubble candidates and everything that is going on in the roster bubble and who's going to make the team, who's not going to make the team. There's one name that stands out pretty consistently that I've seen on 2 or 3 lists so far that I just kind of want to take just 2 minutes. Nothing crazy, but I just want to talk about it. That's Cam Sutton. And my thoughts are very simple. You could think Cam Sutton fell off last year with the Detroit Lions. You could think that Cam Sutton's getting suspended this year, which is probably going to happen. And you can have all your issues with Cam Sutton. They're probably justified. I don't think Cam Sutton has any shot of not making this roster because I think Cam Sutton makes it so much better than it was the day before he signed. That where the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary is very legitimate with Cam Sutton at the helm, running the slot corner, and there's no high expectations, and truthfully, there's nobody to replace him. So I just don't know how that's the case. I can name, I don't know, 8 or 9 roster bubble guys that are real roster bubble guys. Anthony Averett's on that list. Cam Sutton is not on that list. Demonte KZ might even be on that list. Cam Sutton is not on that list. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, am I too favorable in Cam Sutton's direction here? Because I just don't know how that happens.
I understand what you're saying, but I also see a path to where he does become a roster bubble type player. And that is big if, somebody else steps up in that role and they just say it's not worth it to keep on a guy on the 53 man that's going to get suspended for 6, 8, whatever many games when this other player has shown up and stepped up and can definitely fill that role. The problem being you were there. Nobody stepped up in that role over the 12 practices in helmets and shorts.
Yep.
Something might change whenever they get the training camp and the pads come on, but that's the only path that I can see to it. So I understand it to a certain extent, especially with the looming suspension. But if nobody steps up and there's a majority chance that nobody steps up, then it's likely that Cam Sutton makes the roster anyway.
Yeah, I just don't. Anthony Averett didn't look good. Beanie Bishop looked like an undrafted rookie. There's just nobody to compete with him. And I agree, if somebody does step up and somebody's, oh, this guy is ridiculous. Beanie Bishop's the next superstar. You got to keep him on the field. Yeah, okay, I get it. But even then, like, if Cam's just going to be your backup for league minimum, that's as good of a backup as you could get for the Pittsburgh Steelers to just be your just 4th corner who's just out there playing wherever, could play safety, could fill all the roles, could play dime backer. It just makes too much sense. He's not a bad cornerback. He's a good cornerback, and if you use him the right way, he actually plays pretty well and is very reliable. So you just got to figure that out. I don't know how. I get it with the suspension, but I think they knew what the suspension was coming in here when they signed him. And I expect that they already have that worked in somewhere. They have to find a replacement, but I don't see anybody. I don't see 2 guys, because that's what it's going to take is 2 guys. It's going to take the guy that replaces him as the starter and the guy that replaces him as the backup. And I don't think they have 2 that can make that noise. Unless Anthony Everett is unreal, but I don't see it coming.